today we'll be having with us Rukaya. She's a doctor, and she would be answering a few questions that any one of us may have. Like we said last week, today is going to be an open floor for everyone to ask questions, um, make contributions, and everything that has to do with birth control that can be discussed tonight. We hope to be able to finish in 30 minutes, so it will be nice for anyone who has questions to speak up as soon as possible so that we can do justice to them, as our speaker has another meeting afterwards. So we have to try to, make sure that we follow this timing today. Thank you. Rukaya, would you like to introduce yourself? Sorry. Would you like to please introduce
Hi.
yourself to everyone? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rukaya Abdurrashid. I'm a medical doctor and a sexual and reproductive health and rights professional with over 6 years' experience on issues related to women, contraceptives, gender-based violence, and access to safe abortion. It's very nice to be here with you all, and I hope you have absolute fun today.
Thank you so much. I like the ending notes where you just mentioned something about abortion. And I remember that last week I was asking our speaker what she thinks about abortion being a means of birth control. Do you get my question?
I get your question.
Do you classify abortion as a measure of birth control or not?
Yeah, I am very pro-choice. I support women's choice. I support you. You don't even have to give me a reason for wanting an abortion. I support you. However, I would not say that, don't use the birth controls we have on ground because you have an opportunity to get an abortion. Because whether we like it or not, the human body is very complex. And things can just go from 0 to 100. And when I say things can go from 0 to 100, I'm talking about when we know that safe abortion and miscarriage are the same thing. The only difference is that there's a medication that is happening. So whatever can happen from any complication that can happen from a safe abortion in the hospital can actually happen from miscarriage. And I promise you, different things have happened to different people from miscarriages. So it's like, so you see, it's a very dicey situation. We have too many options, and here we are trying to even discuss how we can bring our partners on board. And then we don't want to regress backward to doing what we do in the village, because in the village abortion is a means of birth control.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
that's not what we want to do. As much as we want our women to have equal access to health, we still want them to have it in a very safe and practical manner.
Yeah. Thank you for doing justice to the question. Sorry, I was supposed to mention from the beginning of the video that from the beginning of the meeting, rather, that this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on the social media platforms. And we seek your permission, everyone.
That's fine. I was told.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's anyone who has questions, but in the meantime, when everyone is thinking about their questions, I also have another question to put out about this conversation around birth control. Do you think it would have been a different ball game if it were the men who were getting pregnant instead of the women?
Of course.
Okay. Maybe they would have had maybe they would have even spoken out a long time ago, or said no, let the women do it instead, or something. I'm just thinking out loud.
It might even be they might not even have to. Researchers would have gone wild on getting very, very safer options for them that will not stress them.
So then, is this supposed to be like now that it falls on the shoulders of the women, can we call that medical sexism or what? I don't know.
This is another very broad matter on its own, because matters of women when it comes to the world generally is being, I don't know how to put this, but nobody really pays a lot of attention to it, especially when you can manage.
Yeah.
And the term medical misogyny and sexism is not a joke. It really exists. I was just having conversations around it this evening with my friends on something entirely different. So yeah, this whole thing is as a result of other people are doing it and they're not complaining. Why are you being hysterical? Just love to come. It's quite deep. Like this is and a particular standard that women are being held especially when it comes to fertility issues. And if
Mm.
you don't conform to that, to those standards or to those, expectations, you are seen as being problematic,
Yeah.
or you're just complaining and stuff like that. And I promise you, people actually have a whole lot to say.
Mm. Mm.
So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
turned
I
girl.
I get
Have
it
a
because I was seeing some last week Sunday was Mother's Day, and there were a lot of posts online. You see them calling women superhero. She's always there. She does this. I'm a friend of mine here. She's also on the call. Posted on our timeline on a story on Instagram, and she was like, "Do I look like Spider-Man? Why are you calling me a superhero? Am I wearing a cape?" Because a lot of women are just struggling to make ends meet. A lot of women are tired. A lot of moms or whatever are tired. But because the society expects you to be strong, they expect you to be a 9 to 5 mom, making things happen at work, making things happen at home. You are the professional one. You are the one that tries to make the whole place look so perfect. But there's so much stress going on inside, and you are still supposed to add these birth control issues to what you already have on your plate. That's why the question has always been, who should be responsible for this?
Okay. So I have a mantra that I've always worked with. I love being professional, but even outside the professional, me being professional, I've always loved the idea of family. And when I say family, I don't just mean we are married and we are having legal sex and we're living together and reproducing. I believe family encompasses a whole lot of things. Like, it's us. This is about us. Without the other person trying to be selfish for any reason.
Mm.
So if we say who is responsible in a family unit, it takes two to tango.
Mm.
As much as it takes two people to make the babies, it really, really should take those two people to, try to moderate their family size, try to put in the efforts to contraception. Because let's not forget that we don't only have female contraceptives. We actually
Mm-hmm.
have the we just tend to turn blind eye to it because they've told us that they don't like it. And that is the male condom. It's actually a very, very good and effective method of
Mm.
contraception. So the question isn't whose responsibility is it. We're not talking about two random people that have
Mm-hmm.
met each other. I don't want to spoil my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family. It's a couple affair now. This is a
Yeah.
proper matter. So it's not who is responsible.
Mm.
It's more like how do we do it and it works for us and it
Yeah.
doesn't burden the other person. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to just give a very simple answer to this, I'd say that the two adults having sex are both responsible for the contraception of their family.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. So it means that for example, the woman cannot choose to go for contraceptives or birth control measures without the man's knowledge.
No, no, no. I'm sorry, but no. You see, um, so it's supposed to be, we love to talk about the ideal this, the ideal that, the ideal anesthetic agent, the ideal medicine, the ideal this, but there is nothing ever ideal.
Mm.
Because in the same society that we are in, where the burden of fertility is put on the woman, she shares the burden. In a family where they are suffering infertility, I promise you, the woman carries most of the burden, regardless of the fact that on the social media online we see that, oh, it's not only the women, the men carry it. But see, in real life, the women carry this burden
Mm.
towards themselves, their friends, their own family, the families of the husbands. The burden of fertility generally has been dumped on women, whether
Yeah.
we like it or not. And then there is the other person that can just do as he pleases.
Mm.
And I'm very, very, very clear with this. So, for example, I give birth now, and then I give birth after 10 months. Who do you think the people will be insulting?
Is a
She
woman.
can't put her body together. She cannot even try to protect herself. She cannot. Not only you. When they are throwing these jabs, it is towards the woman. I promise you that when they want to talk to the man, they'll say, "No man, you be
Hey. Okay.
strong man." I know it's okay for anyone to think that I'm not right. We can actually talk about it in real life setting.
Mm-hmm.
No man, you be new baby. So in this kind of situation where one person has to, some of these things aren't, we can't work on them. For example, we are the only ones that can carry the pregnancy.
Yeah.
They are not.
Yeah.
And then when you are pregnant, you get to go through the physical, mental, emotional stress, and every single thing that comes with pregnancy. And I promise you, it's wilder than you can imagine. You could lose your job, or you
Mm-hmm.
could even stop working because you're sick. And then that takes your career backward. Your male counterparts are moving forward while you are stagnant. Even though it's not like that for everyone, but like whether we like it or not, it's a huge
Yeah.
majority. So I cannot be at the receiving end of all of this literally, where the man does not even have control over it. I promise you that no matter how good your spouse is, like, oh, darling man, sweetheart man, lovely man, he cannot protect you from the mental aversion that comes
Yeah.
with pregnancy. He cannot protect you from the psychological effects. He cannot protect you from the career effects, because there's even a way he might even try to protect you, and it will be like he's even trying to harm you, or even trying to, ignore your reality.
Yeah.
This is reality. So you
True.
cannot be on this receiving end and you are placing your fertility in the hands of somebody else. That's the truth. And now I'm talking about the setting that we are in, not necessarily the ideal setting. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get it.
The
I
setting
get
that
it.
we are in is not exactly favorable.
Yeah.
It's not favorable at all for you to say that, oh, if I don't seek permission, then I cannot get birth control. No. And I promise you that it's just we, the badly behaved ones, that are coming online to say, oh no, no permission. The ones that are quiet also do not. They actually go to these healthcare facilities and say, I didn't tell my husband, give me injection. I'm going to the market, I just want to go and buy something. Give me the injection. And they're not saying it. Because whether we like it or not, bodily autonomy is huge. If
Yeah.
only one person wouldn't be burdened with everything that comes with pregnancy and childbirth, it would have been really good that one
Yeah.
partner cannot just go up and opt for it without the knowledge of the other person. Some people even impregnate their wives to limit their career. Do you realize that?
I saw a post recently on, I
Who
think, on
are
IG,
we
where the guy was
try
saying that
to
he knows
say,
that it's a devilish thing, but anytime the wife is going to get a promotion, he impregnates her. He goes with the
what?
calendar thing and he gets her
This
pregnant. The fourth
serious?
child already, with the fifth pregnancy, having a miscarriage of the fifth one. And I was like, what sort of evil is this?
These are very serious matters. Some people
Hmm.
say you are doing too much. Let me get her pregnant so that she will not look this fine
Yeah.
anymore. I swear, I understand when people think that these things that we say are just some form of exaggeration, because you're so innocent, and I love it for you that you're so innocent that you do not even think that other people could think about their spouses in that manner. But I promise you, people do. And we see these things, people talk about it online and they just laugh it off.
Yeah.
Just like, this guy is safe. But in the real world that we are right now, we can't say that a woman has to, seek permission to get contraceptives. No, no, no.
Hmm.
It's not ideal. It's in this setting that we are in. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Never to her.
I don't know if there's anyone who has questions. We are trying to finish at 10 o'clock. That's in 13 minutes. So anyone who has questions, so that,
And comments.
yeah, or comments. Um, yeah, Timile, please, we can have you.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to raise an observation on one of the things you talked about. You talked about the birth control, where you gave example of couple who just gave birth and maybe after 10 months they had another child, and then the cluster or the problem is always people talking on the woman, correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to use a real life situation. I'm talking about my family. My uncle has my uncle has 5 children, right? And I can tell you that the age bracket is months from, I mean, from the first to the last year, there's space. But I mean, from the first to the second to the third, and going that way, right? And I can remember then vividly that we were just happy that we're always coming for the naming and the rest. However, he's late, right? So we just thought now that maybe he knew that he was going to die early at that point. Maybe that was why and the rest. But now coming to my younger brother, who is in the US, his first child, celebrated our first birthday, I think this year, and the second baby is already like 4 months old, right? But then immediately we knew that the wife was pregnant and she was still a nursing mother. We were already blaming him as my brother, right? Why don't you allow this woman to rest? Why are you in a rush to have another child? Why can't you just allow her to heal properly and the rest, just like that? So the notion of family members or people always accusing the woman of certain things like what you have mentioned for us is always a reverse case. Like I mentioned, the first case was all about celebration, right? And the other case, like the initial one I just spoke about, was for us even blaming our own blood brother, saying, "Guy, I don't think it's right for you to put this woman through this stress or let her go through this stress." Having said that, the nature of the woman is always about caring, caring, and caring. And I feel it is nothing or something we can change as humans because it's predestined that the feminine gender is the one who is always prone to, reproduction on that part of the exercise, right? So we can only encourage our wives, we can only encourage our partner, but the burden still lies on you guys. And that's why you see most times we're always appreciative, like kind of gift or even pampering you guys with whatever it is. So emotionally, all these things can be talked about when women will talk about things like saying that men are these, they are too dominant, and that's our nature. We can't do anything about that. But also, we are also there to encourage you guys. But now putting the blame, I mean, 100% on the man gender, saying we don't have control over things like this. We don't have control over me. As a person, I'm not even talking about who has control on what's in the family. I just believe in mutual communication, agreements, and the rest. And like I said, we are we are unique in different ways that people take things the way they see it. Some people will tell you that this is what our grandfathers have been doing, so you have to do it. The rest of history as such. But in this modern age, I don't think such things should take its course. So yeah, that's my submission.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord Mayor, for your contribution to that. As much as we are having conversations around this, I want you to understand that it's never is one size fits all. I know people that, want to have their babies once and for all and just, do three under three and get it done with and just raise them all together. However, this evening, we are very interested in contraceptive. And when we're talking about contraception, it means that, there's spacing in the whole this. So we're talking about the people that actually want to space it. And you said something about there is nothing you can do about it. I mean, I was very clear when we mentioned that we have male contraceptives too. Like, you could actually carry it on on your own head that, oh yeah, we are going to be, spacing our family. We're going to be doing family planning, and the burden of it, I'm going to carry it on. I'm going to wear condoms. Do you understand? Like, I'm going to wear condoms. We're going to use your calendar, and I'm going to wear condoms, especially during the periods that aren't safe and all of that. So it's not exactly it's quite a blame game, but the blame isn't. I don't think anybody we should come and think that it's a form of attack, because at the end of the day, you aren't the only ones that make up the society. So no one is trying to say, oh, this is you, it is about you, it is about you. No, it's a societal, this is a societal issue. It's not about, oh, man, 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 man. We have women that are champions of, stuff like this that carry the burden of fertility and all, putting it on the other women. So I don't think you should see it as some form of finger pointing. And it's quite funny. Okay, don't worry. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much again for your contribution. Oluwainka, yes.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you very much for this wonderful topic. Where I have a little contribution, I will say I think our government is doing more havoc than good when it comes to contraception and putting all the burden on women, because I could remember very well, even presently, when it comes to women, we have a lot of support groups, NGOs. While growing up on the radio, even when I was still very small, I had no knowledge about contraceptive. You hear a lot of jingles regarding women contraceptives, different NGOs, they will be beckoning onto women to come and do family planning and everything. But it's quite funny that you rarely hear of any support groups when it comes to men or NGOs or jingles on the radio regarding vasectomy and things like that. Even when they're advertising for condom, they don't even make the advert for married people. Mostly they direct it to married people to abstain from sex. So the
For
purpose
STI
is
prevention.
not even, yeah, the purpose is not even to serve as contraceptive or for unmarried people to abstain from sex. So I think the government, and when we look at the arm of government, we have a lot of men up there, and they focus more on the legislative part. They when it comes to men, they kind of tend to be lazy regarding their own emotional and psychological well-being, and they tend to like put it on, that's how my father did it, my forefathers, they just want to follow pattern, let me just say the easy way out. So if our government, if we have things, petitions we can sign, raise and everything, that when it comes to men, let us also create arms, NGOs, bodies that enlightens them, that makes awareness regarding all these things. Like I mentioned last week, I was discussing with like 3 to 4 married men regarding vasectomy, and none of them had a clear understanding about vasectomy that is going to be done on their body. I was even the one enlightening them. Every one of them believed they're going to cut something off from their body. It is quite alarming, including my own partner. And we were, it was myself and a friend of mine, and we're both arguing with them, and they were arguing with us. So it's quite alarming. So I would say, if we belong to any form of NGO, if we can, any way we can, add our own input to make more awareness for men too. They are unnecessarily hard on themselves by just checking out, following the easy way out. They don't want to accept some responsibility. They don't even want to learn about their own body. They leave it just for the women. Go and learn about your body, how to control your body, how to make things work. Just satisfy me. Every other thing, learn about it. And again, I see that a lot of these things, the West are even trying a bit, but where we come from, Africa, we are so much in the dark regarding all these things. Men, they believe we just have to be in the aim of affairs, legislative part, any other thing. Let's just reprocreate. Women should just be in charge, and they don't even give us avenue to make a choice. I think, yeah, I've seen a lot of white people, the way they reason with their wife. I've even come across posts online where they'll be laughing about their husband, recording them coming out of hospital, that my husband just had a vasectomy, and I'm sorry to say, apologies to the men, I've never seen a black man done the vasectomy thing. And I just come up a random post, seeing white men. So I think we should not be running away from our responsibility. So to say, they usually say we are the head. Take that mantle, act on it, not just with man. When you are the head, the responsibility of contraception to falls on you. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very, very much,
Thank
Ms.
you.
for your contribution. It just further emphasizes on the fact that the burden of fertility has been placed on women. It's always seen as a woman's thing. It's the woman's thing from the from the beginning till the end. Just bring out the baby. So yes, thank you very much. Is this is a societal issue? To be honest, it's not a one person problem. And even the government, who are the people in the government? They are people just like us. They are influenced by the society. They don't nobody wants to go through that. Like, it takes a whole lot to start something new entirely, to deviate from the norm. I promise you, can be very difficult. Like, simple things that aren't supposed to be that difficult, you see how people lash out and are very annoyed because you're deviating from it, even though it doesn't hurt anyone. So things like these are also like one of the societal norms. And saying that, oh, everyone should take responsibility on fertility of their family is quite like deviating from the norm, introducing new things. So yeah, thank you very, very much for your contribution on that.
Thank you. I believe that there's no more questions from the audience, so that we can close the episode. Lastly, I just want to, based on the things that we have said, can we then say that it can be classified as irresponsible of men not wanting to use condom and not wanting children? or using vasectomy, for example?
You see, I always say something that our behavior is usually influenced by what we grow up to see, what we know, what we accept. I promise you that if you look deep into this issue with some people, you realize they actually don't know that,
Hmm.
oh, I'm supposed to, oh, I didn't know that. And condoms, why do I have to use condoms when my partner can get the patch, can get the implants, and just make it easier for both of us, and then we get to enjoy skin to skin? Like, why do I have to when there are other options available? Not considering the fact that these whole other methods are taking a toll on the women, whether we like it or not, one way or the other. And the whole issue is, I think more awareness needs to be done. Because before we say someone is irresponsible, is like, for example, in the segments of the family, somehow there is a wild awareness on how the men should take the the sole responsibility of taking care of their families, financial affairs, and all of it. But if you don't get to do that, then they call you irresponsible. That's because and then you are refusing to do it. But in this case, I feel like it could be far-fetched to say that, especially for the people that really do not know. Some people really don't know, and vasectomy might not be an entirely feasible option for a family that has not completed their family size. Because now, when we're talking about contraceptive, we're not talking about contraceptive at the end of your old fertility career. We're saying that in between your first and second child, they should be spacing. Second and third, they should be spacing. Third and fourth, so vasectomy cannot work in that kind of situation because it's kind of a permanent form of, it's like tubal ligation. In fact, the same thing, just one for male, one for female. So what I'm just trying to say is that there's a lot of conversations coming up around male contraceptives, trying to come up like pills, injectables that they can take that would prevent spermatozoa from moving, because I mean it moves before it comes out of the urethra, and promise you somebody can actually ejaculate with no sperm. It's like the basis of infertility. So there could be medications that can be given actually that will not make the sperms move upward, and you just ejaculate semen and everybody is going to be fine. So it's not like these things aren't possible. They are possible. I think it's just laziness, and again the fear of deviating from the norms that and another thing that is not that makes it look very difficult is because even amongst the partners there is no trust. Because the women don't even trust their partners to go for their monthly shots or
That's the
their
thing.
yearly shots, because they feel like, hey, what if he doesn't go?
Should
And
I
then he now
trust?
ends up impregnating me. Are we not in the same world where people
Exactly.
have sex with condom and their partners remove the condom in between the sex and continue without the other person knowing? I mean, this is actually an issue. You're supposed to use it to protect yourself, but the other person removes it and goes on without the condom. So who says that the other person cannot lie and compromise on it? So there is a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It needs to be a family discussion. Oh, this is our plan as a family. This is what we want. It takes a lot of self-discipline. Truly, I eventually realized that you talk about these things, but after a while, one person is already craving for children because, I love the idea of having more children already. But one of the things that can easily stop it, I mean, it's okay to have fantasies. I also have my own life fantasies, but it doesn't mean that I have to give in to all my cravings and fantasies. So things like contraceptives will make it easy to, like, oh, whether you like it or you don't like it, that you want to have more children, I mean, you have contraceptives in situ. But if the other person isn't trustworthy enough to keep to their words, and then they go on and not get the shot for the next one, I mean, they are putting the person that would eventually carry the 9 months of problem at risk. So it's a lot. It needs to start at the level of, we are a team first. We need to realize that we are a team first before anything. That way we would be able to say, okay, this is our family mantra, this is what we want to do. My husband is getting this shot, and we know that he will not compromise on it. I don't even have to put in my eyes like it needs to be like a serious affair. The same way as I am like this, the way I fear pregnancy. Rookie. The way I'm always the same way you are very scared. And whether we like it or not, the person that doesn't go through something might not even have the same level of fear as you.
Yeah. And then they told that
a lot of commitment.
Yeah, they told that pregnancy even takes on different
level
persons.
of commitment for you to realize that, oh, my partner my partner, I cannot go against our, our plans as a family. And, even if I want more children, let's have a conversation. Babe, how far now? Why not let's,
How will they be
have a
now?
conversation. It's not like another person will get deceived that they are being protected when they are not being protected. It's a very deep issue. So in the world where we are advocating for more money to be put into researches regarding male contraceptives, more more people volunteering to get for the trials, to make everything easy, make everything possible. Even when this thing comes out, if we don't still have a commitment of the family units, it's still going to be like it's going to be like it's just a futile effort, to be honest, because one person still doesn't have so much, we like call it sympathy. I know sympathy is far-fetched. I personally hate to use the word sympathy when it relates to women, because I don't want anyone to have sympathy on me.
No sympathy.
You just have to understand that this is my partner that will be burdened with this, and these are family units. And I've seen families that actually have plans that they execute so well. I know friends. I have people that actually use just condom. Because there are some people that no matter how they try, they cannot even use these hormonal contraceptives, and even the Copati that is not hormonal. They have a whole lot going on with them. Somebody that I know has tried every single contraceptive, and none has worked for her. She did implants. She had terrible headaches that would not make her sleep. She did non-hormonal Copati. She was bleeding heavily with very serious cramps. Some of us have it good that we'll use it and nothing will happen. But some people really have it tough. They would use it, and I promise you, in their family, they started using calendar stroke condom method, and it's been working. They've been able to space their children for the number of years they want to. Nobody is trying to act smart. Nobody is trying to act inconsiderate. Nobody is trying to impregnate the other person because of whatever annoyance that is going on in their mind, or for whatever selfish reason. So I think it's a whole in the world where we are talking about telling women go to primary health care and get contraceptive for free. I feel like if we devote more time in strengthening the family unit to focus more on loyalty and truthfulness, and making them understand that, you see, this thing is actually your business, because whether we like it or not, the concept of reproduction is a woman's business as far as our society is concerned. If we don't dead that notion, we are not going anywhere. We have the male contraceptives, but promise you, the men will not use
Exactly. I was also thinking
that. Anybody to take any contraceptives, you can't. The same way you can't force a woman to take it, you cannot force a man to take it too. Who is at the receiving end? In the end. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. This thing that we are all keeping quiet about, this thing that we all don't want to talk about, this thing that we all don't want to, bruise anyone's ego, to make them understand that this is your family affair, whether we like it or not. If we want to move forward as a society, we have to face it squarely and talk about it. This is the truth. Honestly, there's a contribution from someone, and there's a comment. The wife member said to me, you don't.
Can we take the question from Kole?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. So not to comment on what most people have actually said. I think I would just say, both parties should just be responsible and consider each other. So sometimes women say you have to remember what is going on in our body. I believe it should just be like communication between the parties involved, while understanding what works for each other. But that aside, last week we discussed about faith and how it influenced birth control. What would you say about men who entangled their wife in this shackle of you're not obedient, like the wife has to do what what the husband says, and sometimes they wrap it around religion.
Do you really want to hear my opinion about that? Are you sure?
And how does faith influence birth control?
He who asks the question must be ready to swallow the answer.
I don't think so. I really don't think you want to. But when we talk about faith and contraceptives, well, I'm a Muslim, and I do not know anywhere in my religion that says that a woman should not, a family should not use contraceptive. I don't know anywhere that, says that. Of course, we would always get the people that, you know how this thing is. I'm always very careful when I talk about religious issues. If you had invited me to talk about religious, but I would have declined. I am very, I don't know, I'm very careful about discussing religious issue, and I am too liberal to talk about religious issues. I think if I may say so myself, to make me safe, I am too liberal to talk about religious issues, because I'll just miss here and now, and they will not start again. So I'm actually serious. I'm serious. This is a serious matter. And as for your first question, I will not answer you. Mr. Stoke, I will not answer you.
Any
Jerry,
reason
I
for
know
that?
you know I will not answer him.
I think some people want you to answer.
Yeah, I will not answer.
Comment section is saying yes, please.
Because what do you want me to say?
I know, right?
What do you want me to say? If I say, like I said, I'm very liberal for a lot of things. Because what do you mean obedience? You please.
Hey, okay.
Please.
I don't know if there's any other person who has questions. We'll be wrapping up.
There's a question. I think some people want Lord Mayor to take the mic and tell them why white men are doing and since so I can tell us so that we can inform our sisters.
Yeah. So
This is what we don't know.
It's an occurring thing that is happening here, right? And it's something that I think I've also heard from two of my colleagues or close friends, yeah, that got married to white men here, and the idea is, after marriage, you as a woman you want to reproduce or you want to have children, right? And then the first few years there's nothing coming, and then you're going for the same. Now I'm speaking for one, right? And then both partners have been going to the same doctors, right? So the gynecologist and the male doctor at the same time. And yeah, exactly. So after checking them, they always declare that they are clean and all that. But at a certain point, I think after 7 years, right? You made mention of a neurologist, if I'm correct, right? Had to call urologist, yeah, had to call the lady and said there's something that he would like to share with her, but she should keep it as a secret, right? And it was about the man himself had this vasectomy of a thing, coming to do it every time. So it was almost like a secret in the whole hospital, but that this is just confidential, that he could lose his job for it. So after that information, the lady went home peacefully, and I don't know, somehow filed for divorce, right? But now she's happily married to a black guy, and they have about 3 children together.
Vasectomy is a permanent contraceptive that is done once, and after 10 years, you can go check the what is it called? The strength of it. I'm going to put in the layman's term so that
Okay.
you know everything is still very fine, or you need to retie. That's what I'm trying to.
So I'm just saying in a nutshell that this practice was carried out by the husband without the wife knowing, right?
Yeah, I get you.
From the point go.
That's would not say that vasectomy is a form of contraceptive in this family if you accept.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I totally agree.
That is fraud. It's like, for whatever reason in this world, if a partner knows that they can't have children, and then they they continue to lead the other person, whether a male or a female, and then they continue to lead their partner on, that is fraud. That isn't. I don't think that is supposed to be the reason why they are doing vasectomy. Because whether we like it or not, the reason why they are doing vasectomy, that their wives are aware of, is because they have completed their family size and they are taking charge of these contraceptives for their family. But that doesn't change the fact that we still have fraudulent people that already have one or two things. Because whether we like it or, there are a barrage of reasons why a man cannot have children or a woman cannot have children, and then they decide to hide it from their partners. And doing vasectomy without the knowledge of your partner is also one of it. It's not like a form of contraceptive. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So the same way condom is a form of contraceptive and also protects you against STI, vasectomy is a form of contraceptive and another person can use it as a form of fraud. Because that is fraudulent. So I don't think it is very healthy for us to say that, that is the reason why the white men are doing vasectomy. Do you get?
Okay.
So yes, if you are doing anything,
I'm also not saying that.
without,
I'm also not saying that, ma. I'm only saying that we shouldn't use the white people to say the white man does it and you've not seen a black man do it, right? So we're just learning it, and I believe we'll come up to that terms once we have a good and clear
yes,
agreement with our spouses or our partners, our wives.
yes, you're very correct. Yes, you're very correct. It's just more like an example. I don't know. You know how our parents are, they love to compare one child and the other.
True.
So our people are just trying to like, oh, your counterpart are doing it, and why not you? I don't think they mean anything derogatory or insultive. Miss Lola, now I'm
And
scared.
I think also vasectomy is just one part of it.
Yes,
Exactly.
like I said,
So
there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a whole lot. I mean, I just explained the process that you can actually, there's actually one coming up now, and that is how it works. It's quite easy, and it's not a permanent method, just like how most of the ones women have aren't permanent methods too. So yes, we just need more researches to be done, more money into the field of male contraceptive, family orientation, and it doesn't have to be vasectomy, because even I would not like to tie my tubes. So yes, it doesn't have to be. We need more methods to include the men to be able to, participate in this very serious thing, because all of us, nobody can adhere to the best form of contraceptive.
Everybody just picks what works for them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we'll be ending with Lola's comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. I actually want to go back to that religion question. But if you cannot answer it, maybe someone else can answer for us. Or you can also as well touch on it. Kind of, I understand that you're liberal and all of that. In the case where, okay, the question that was asked kind of portrayed it to me like there's no communication going on in this marriage. It's the typical Nigerian, Baba is the head of the home, whatever he says is final, that kind of thing. In the case of that example that was given, it means that maybe the man wants more kids, but the woman doesn't. So is it something that she knows her body, she knows that she cannot do this anymore? Whatever communication that she's having with the man is falling on deaf ears. It can be that the pregnancy or everything is even having an adverse effect on her body, but this man is not still listening. Like, he doesn't want to hear it. He just wants more kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if she goes ahead and does birth control because she wants to save herself, without the man actually agreeing to it, are we now going to say because one religion says that you have to listen to your husband because I see that reaction. You have to listen to your husband because he's the head of the family. She's not supposed to do that. She's supposed to still listen to her husband or whatever it is that he wants for the family because he's the head of the home, and maybe the Bible or the Quran has said it that way, that kind of thing. Do you feel like that's what should happen, or marriage can scatter, whatever happens?
Because at the end of the day, it's still God that is going to judge the greatest of judges in the whole world. Whether we are good people, or we cherry pick, or we outrightly say I know they do, or we say nothing concern me, in the end, all of us will still have to face God. So I've seen religious women do it secretly. Like I explained earlier, they will come and say they will say they're going to the market, and then they go get the shots of Depo that lasts for 3 months, and they are trying, aren't we trying? I just can't have. And then when they say the next period, they will be crying. Hey God, why? But they just have to find a way around this thing by themselves. At the end, it is God that will judge all of us, because this thing sometimes there is in my own book, in our own book, there is nowhere that it is clearly written about contraceptive, that, oh, if your husband said that he wants more children and you don't want more children and you go ahead to get something that this is the punishment, you know, you are going to face, like stealing, like killing people, like this. There is none. So at the end of the day, God is the judge of all of us. So maybe we should just do whatever good we think in our hearts and meet in heaven. If I may say so. because this life matter is too complicated. Isn't it enough that the other person is very inconsiderate of you and the only thing they think about is, I want more children, I want more children. To what end? And fortunately enough, in the religion that I came from, again, the men even have the opportunity to marry another wife. Some men have actually done it. They marry other wives to have more children for them. If the one at home decides that she does not want polygamy, she's still allowed to seek a divorce on the basis of that. And that way, it's still a win-win for everyone. You have children with her. They are both your children. You get to have children with someone else, but you don't get to have marriage with her anymore. You get to make the decision at the end of the day. In my own religion now, the man can have another wife because he wants more children. That's fine. It depends on the woman. If she wants to stay in the polygamy, good and fine for her. If she doesn't, nobody is going to hold her that she has done the wrong thing, not even religiously. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because
I understand perfectly. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
It's just complicated because divorce is
honestly, if selfishness is inserted into the heart of any member of the family, it makes everything complicated.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's always complicated. Something that is seemingly simple, very simple, that is not supposed to be difficult, will become very huge and stressful for both of them, for both the man and the woman in the family. So yes, once you remove humanity and you put your selfish desire over the other person's, whatever, you would see that everything becomes really, really stressful. That's the truth. And
okay,
we don't deserve stress.
Thank you so much.
Yes, communication, respect, and understanding. I agree with you. Yeah.
And then the question about religion and all of that, somebody also posted, wisdom is profitable to direct. So at the end of the day, do what works for you.
If we respect each other, we would consider each other.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. We did it again. We went past 30 minutes. Well, yeah, it's good. It was fun. We learned a lot. And thank you so much, Dr. Rukayah. It's been really nice having you around to, shed light on this birth control topic. On this note, we'll be wrapping up the episodes. It's been 4. This is the 4th one on birth control measures. We have also been informed now that it's not like it's the responsibility of one person. The most important thing is that there should be communication, there should be respect, and there should be understanding. Thank you so much, Shobaloju Adebayo, for this beautiful summary of the whole discussion. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining. It's been so nice having you guys. We'll be going into new topics from next week again, and it will be so nice to have you all join us again. Thank you, Dr. Rukayah.
I have my closing statements written.
Yeah, we can have
when it comes to birth control, the question isn't just who takes the pill or who takes the responsibility. For too long, women have carried the physical, emotional, and societal burden of contraception, not because it's fair or natural, but because gender norms have dictated it. True reproductive justice means shifting from blame to balance. It means holding space for men to step up, not just as allies, but as equals. And it means raising a generation that sees birth control not as a woman's duty, but as a shared commitment to health, respect, and freedom. The future of contraception is not female, it is collaborative. So thank you very, very much for having me this evening. And I promise you, I had a lot of fun talking to you guys.
We also did have a lot of fun hearing from you. It's been so beautiful. Thank you so much. And as already mentioned, we'll have all episodes are on the YouTube platform, also on Instagram. Anyone who would like to go back again, watch, you can always do that. We'll share the link to watching it on YouTube on our social media platforms as well. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much.
Women, share with your husband, sit them down, use it to do Netflix and chill.
True,
Okay.
true, very true.
Thank you. That's very true.
Very true. Yeah, and then somebody also mentioned that we should give the men the flowers. Yeah, the men that was really consistent throughout the program. That didn't make us feel like it's a women's thing. Thank you so much. It's been so
Thank
nice having you guys around as well. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Brian. Good night.
Good
Bye.
night. Yeah.